Hello students, so this is your third chapter from civics for revision, and your third chapter is how the state government works. The first topic that we are going to learn is who is an MLA. Already we know about the government. What do you mean by government? Government is an organization which has the authority to govern a political territorial unit. So here, after understanding the government is divided onto three levels, that is local, state, and as well as national. So the member of legislative assembly are elected by the people through the universal adult franchise, that is through voting rights. They then form the government. How? Through voting in the election. Every state in India has a legislative assembly. Each state is divided into different areas, or you can call it as constituencies, from where the people elect one representative each, who then becomes an MLA. So from each constituencies the peoples are voting to one representative. So that representative would be from different party. It is not necessary from the different party. Many of the representative would be stand in election, and the peoples are choosing the one from the party to vote, and later on they become MLA. So a political party whose MLA have won more than half the number of constituencies in the state are called in majority. So to form a political party and as well as to form a government, they need a more than half of number of the constituencies seat. So the political party whose MLA gets more than half number of the constituency of the state, they are called as a majority, and they form a political party. Now, and all the members of other political party who do not is belonging to ruling party are called an opposition. So ruling and opposition, those who are winning is called as the majority party, is known as ruling party, and the other party who got more seats are called as opposition. These MLAs are together responsible for working of the government. The party with majority of seat in the assembly elects its leaders, who becomes the chief minister. So out of all the MLAs, they together choose a leader. So this leader is becoming a chief minister. So after getting the post of chief minister, the chief minister then selects the other ministers to run various government departments and minister in the state. So the MLA also becomes the minister. Chief minister is choosing, appointing the ministers for the various department like agricultural, education, healthcare, etc., and they becomes the minister. Each state has governor who appoints the chief minister and as well as other ministers. So who is appointing up, taking a pledge, taking oath actually of chief minister and other minister, that is governor. So each state is having governor who appoints the chief minister and other minister. Some MLAs have dual responsibility, one as MLA and other as minister. As in, I have given the example like one person is already MLA, but later on as chief minister appoints him minister for one particular department, then he has to go through he has to take away both the responsibility as an MLA also and as an minister also. Both the department he has to take care of. Next we are having a debate in legislative assembly. The legislative assembly is the house of the elected representative, where they discuss questions and suggest how the government should functions. So the debate session is going on in the legislative assembly. What could be improved and what could be developed, every kind of discussion is been done over here for lawmaking, everything. So it is presented in the legislative assembly in the form of bill. So bill may be both monetary bill or ordinary bill. The minister of the concerned department has to answer the question raised by the other members. So as I said, the question would be presented in the form of bill, and on that bill minister of concerned department will speak up, like we have discussed in our chapter for the health issue, the diarrhea problem that was being affected in different areas more severely. So they are going to talk about that, and the concerned department for that is the healthcare department. The minister have to give away the answer, and other ministers also can ask question to him. The elected MLAs of the government are responsible for the work done by the government. So all the work has to be done by the MLA. So they are the elected representative. Even they were appointed for the various department also. So all kind of work what they are doing, they are fully responsible to run a government. They are executive part of the government. It means they are implementing the law. As we already know, there are three organs: legislature, executive, and the judiciary. So legislature's work is to make law. So the starting sentence what we have said, they are discussing, debating, and drafting a law. The monetary budget is also given. It is also shown or represented as a bill in the legislative assembly, like any kind of project if they are having, like making a bridge in the city, so they need a budget. So this budget has to be also passed through the legislative assembly. If they have to make a law, then law has to be also passed through the legislative assembly only. Before making any kind of law, they are discussing, debating, and looking after everything. Then they are drafting it, and then it is discussed in the house by the members of the amendments are made if necessary before it put to the vote. Later on they are voting it, means those who are in favor, then if the majority are in favor, then the bill got passed. And this bill here, after voting, the legislative minister pass it, and then it is passed to the governor for the approval. So this, it becomes an act only after the governors sign it. So to become a law, the governor has to pass it. So they are the executive part of the government also, as they are making law. All the MLAs assembled together in the assembly, that is called as legislature. Working of the government: apart from the legislative assembly, newspaper, TV channels, and other talk about government and its functioning. So from where do we know? As I already said in chapter, that the media is the link between the government and as well as the common people. So these are the people who talk about the government's functioning and work. After the discussion in the assembly, the minister may organize a press conference to inform government's stand and on any particular issue, like in the case of diarrhea. So whatever the precautionary measures or important steps what they have decided to take, that is being discussed with the media, with the TV reporters and the newspaper editors, like that. So even though they can also ask how the government is going to work on it, and how much time it would take, this kind of question may be asked by them. And the government are accountable here. Minister are accountable means they are responsible to answer to the question of the TV reporters, because they are going to give this news to the common people. So through them we are knowing what the government is going to do and what steps they have taken for the issue what was being faced by them. The minister often organize visit to areas to look into their issues and take steps. So as they inform all the things whatever they are going to do in the channels and newspapers, then they often may visit the areas where it is more affected and takes various steps. Various departments also work for the betterment of the people, like PWD, that is Public Work Department, Agricultural Department, Health Department, Education Department, and so on, so on. So these are the basic amenities what is being got by the people and provided by the government. New laws are also made by the government. Already I said that before making law they are discussing, debating, and then they are passing it to the governor to put it into an act. The work done by the various department has to be approved by the member of the legislative assembly. So directly they cannot, if one minister wishes that they have to pass a law or they have to pass any kind of budgetary bill or this kind of positive or improvement steps they have to take, then this could not be done by one minister. Generally they are discussing the majority's vote is very much necessary. If it fails, if they are not getting the majority vote, then this bill is dissolved. Again they have to represent it in the legislative assembly. So overall it takes 6 months to pass on one bill. It takes times, and even more than, if it is rejected, then after the first meeting they have to represent it in the next meeting, that is after 6 months. So most probably the legislative assembly meet in the assembly twice in a year, that is every 6 months. So overall we have completed the chapter. For detailed study, go through the chapters video. This is the only revision part. This is the 4th chapter's revision from civics and the last chapter of syllabus of term 1. Your 4th chapter is growing up as boys and girls. Two examples showing different ways of growing up. One is Samoa Island, and next is the Madhya Pradesh in 1960s, and one is in 1920. So in Samoa Island the children did not go to school. Then what they do, they learn many things like fishing, then planting, and even they are taking care of the older children, the younger children, as the elders are taking care. At the age of 9, a boy join other boys in learning outdoor jobs, and the girls after 14 they are joining the trip and learning fishing and worked in the plantation, learned how to weave a basket. So the age also matters, at what age they will go to the other group to learn something. Till then they have to look after their younger ones. Here in Madhya Pradesh, girls' school was different from the boys' school. Both are going into different schools after the 6th grade. The girls are always going to school in groups because they fear to be being teased or attacked. The boys enjoyed more freedom as they play or try out tricks with their bicycle on the streets, but girls are not allowed to roam on streets. The streets are only meant to just reach up to their homes directly from the schools, so they are not allowed to hang out on the streets. Even the girls are having courtyard to play in the school background. The boys can roam around and they can move out of that courtyard also. They are not having certain limitations. How boys and girls are socialized differently. So toys from the childhood, as we have discussed in the chapter, that is from toys itself they are being differentiated. Toys become a way of telling the children that they will have different future when they become men and women. Like the boys are always getting the aeroplane, as they can become a pilot, and many other options like cycles, the guns, they can join an army. So this kind of toys are given to the boys to tell them their futures, and even the doctor kit also. Then here the girls are always getting the set of utensils, Barbie doll, So here which showing by giving the Barbie doll, the girls usually take care of her Barbie doll, feeding them, taking care of the doll. So this teaches her that in future also she have to do the same job. And utensils, like playing with utensils, that tells her that she is going to cook in future. So role play starts from the childhood over here. Examples in the daily life: how girls must dress, what games boys should play, how girls need to talk softly or boys need to be tough. So there are more and more examples, like the girls has to wear the girly dress. They are not allowed to wear the jeans and t-shirts, not short skirts, like that. Boys can wear anything, they can shout, they can laugh loudly, but this is not allowed to the girls. Here one restriction is given to the boys, that is they should never cry, because boys are tough, uh, they are hard, so they are very tough in their nature, they should not cry like girls. So emotions and sentiments are always related to girls. Girls are allowed to cry, to show their emotions and all. Men and women do have the same status. So here men and women are not having the same status. Men are getting more respect, and their status is very high in the society, as they are bread earner, like they are working outside earning money, so they are considered as bird earner. So women are only taking care of house, family, the children's, looking after the household work, everything. So they are not getting that much of status and respect in the society. Valuing the housework. Housework and caregiving tasks are the main responsibility of the woman. As I said, from the childhood only they got this responsibility. So it is not about the individual or the family. In the world, overall world, this duty or this work is always done by the woman. These two things, the housework and the caregiving and caretaking of the family, that is the responsibility of woman. It is always considered like that. And because she is not earning anything from this, her work is being valued less. The work that women do with the home is not recognized as work. So this misconception also arises, like the work which is being done by the woman is not considered as work. Why? Because she is not earning anything from that. Here the example we are having of lives of the domestic workers. Many homes in the towns and cities employ domestic workers, as the parents are always on work. Both the men and women works in the city. Compared to the village women most probably work in the house itself. Only the men are earning, but in the city the parents most probably are working, and there is no one to look after the children, their houses, cooking, everything is being done by the domestic worker. So most domestic worker are women in the city. Their wages are low, as their work does not have much value. So what kind of work they are doing, like washing clothes, utensils, cooking, cleaning of houses, taking care of their children. So this kind of work is considered and given less value, and because of that they are always getting the low wages. The housework women do is tedious, physically demanding and time consuming. So whatever the housework, like cleaning, then washing clothes and utensils, taking care of children, cooking, this is very physically demanding work, and also time consuming. For long hours they have to stand on the kitchen sorry in the kitchen to cook for everyone, and to look after the children, washing the clothes. It is time consuming, but this is again valued less. Women spend much more time working than men and have much less time for leisure. So here the men who is working outside in the office, so they are having particular time like 10 to 5, or from early to afternoon, like 7 to 2 or 7 to 4. So this kind of particular time every firm is having, so only that is considered as working hours, and that work, for that working hours they are getting salary. But here woman is spending her whole day time in doing the household work from early morning till night till she is sleeping. In our chapter also we have learned this domestic worker Melanie, she is getting up early in the 5 a.m. and starts doing work until by 12 she is sleeping. So the whole day hard work she is doing, but she was not paid much. And the household worker like the Jasprit, she is not even getting the salary also, as that is her responsibility to complete the household work or to do the work. And even they are not getting the time to leisure. Leisure means free time for them, they cannot take much rest also, because compared to the men, as I if I say 10 to 5, then after 5 the men are free, they get the leisure time whatever they want to do, but that is not got by the woman. Women's work and equality. The Indian constitution says that that being male or female should not become a reason for the discrimination. Now why? In reality inequality exists between the sexes, that is genders. Now why the constitution says that? Because constitution assures that everyone should get the equal right, so they cannot discriminate on the basis of gender, caste and religion. So here gender matters, so how they are going to discriminate? So this is gender is should not be the reason for the discrimination. The constitution says the government has set up Anganwadis and children care centers in several villages in the country. So the women who are working can go and work by just sending their children to the Anganwadi. The Anganwadi take caring women are taking care of the children from morning till evening, that is by 4:30, feeding them, teaching them, playing with them, and even the children are sleeping, taking a short nap after the lunch. So this was being done in the Anganwadi, and the government provides the necessary meal to the Anganwadi centers. So the children at the growth age they can get the nutrients also. So these are the steps taken by the government. The government has also made a law that the organization that have more than 30 women employees should provide the creche facility. So this also become compulsory. The organization which is having more than 30 employees, so that creche facility should be given. So many more, like remuneration act, that is also being passed, that law, that equal wages should be given if the work is done same by both the gender. Many of the offices also don't pay the same wages to the woman, as they say they are not going outside of the office for any of the work, and even the working hours would be less, but the work done by both the gender are same, but they are less paid because they are women. So the remuneration law was also been passed to give away the equal wages. So here your term 1 revisions ends. If you are having any doubt, please you can message me in WhatsApp sending the PDF with the video. So please complete the worksheet, as we are going to take the FNBs for checking after 17th. So please complete it by the date, meanwhile in this 1 week. Thank you.